This is the Singer Junior Miss, and it's the 67B. Now this one dates back to probably the late 60s, early 70s. It's actually featured in one of my videos before this one. I'll put a link in the description box for you if you want to go and check that one out. This is quite a nifty toy. Not only has it got a hand crank, but it's also capable of taking batteries, and it comes with an adapter, so you can actually plug it into the mains. If we take a look at the box for a moment, it says here that it sews a real lock stitch, just like Mother's. And that's not the only thing it's got in common. This is a transverse shuttle, which basically means that the shuttle moves from side to side like that. And I'll show you it working in a minute. This is the bobbin case. It's shuttle shaped, and there's the bobbin. It's a long bobbin. That's quite reminiscent of some of my other sewing machines, particularly Grandma. This is a long bobbin from Grandma. This bobbin actually fits some of my other vibrating shuttle machines as well. And here is the shuttle case for Grandma. And if I just put the Junior Mrs. shuttle case and bobbin next to those, you'll see the size difference. The first thing that we're going to need to do, obviously, is load it up with thread so that we can actually sew with it. As with the larger sewing machines, the first thing that we need to do is wind a bobbin. There's a little hole in the end that you need to put the thread through. The thread that came with this machine was the little tiny ones, like this one. I'll just pop that next to a standard size reel for a moment. Now, I'm not sure that you can get this particular size anymore, but the modern equivalent would be these. You can get these in hand sewing kits, but I'm going to use the standard size cotton reel. And as with all my other machines, the first thing I'm going to do is check to find that notch so I can make sure it stays out of the thread path. To load the cotton reel onto the machine, pull the spool pin out of the mount and then pop that through the reel. And then you just pop it back on the machine. Now you want to make sure that the reel is fairly close to this end, because this bit will work in a similar way to how spool caps work on modern day machines, or machines with horizontal pins. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the thread through this thread guide here, and then you've got a thread guide here which you also need to put the thread through. I find that threading it through like that is a lot easier than trying to click it into place. Okay, so that's the thread through the thread guide. The next thing you want to do is grab your bobbin and locate that little tiny hole just in the end, and from the inside outwards thread the thread through that tiny hole. I quite like that little hole in the bobbin, and I think it's something that they should have done on the larger machines because it makes threading the bobbin so much easier. Now I'm just going to pop that down for a second, because the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put the hand crank into the hand wheel. And just click it into place. There we go. Now we need to bring the take-up lever up to the highest point. These arrows on the hand wheel will tell you which way to turn this wheel. It's that way, and there you go. It's at the top. You see this metal thing? It looks a bit like a paper clip. You need to push that backwards, and as you push that backwards, there's like a little bit of metal, like a little rod just at the front there. And you need to slide the bobbin onto that. which is easier said than done. Oh, there you go. Whoops. This part of winding the bobbin is a pain, and they could have come up with a better solution, to be honest. There you go, that's got it. Okay, once you've finangled that onto the bobbin winder, the next thing that you want to do is just hold on to this thread for just a few revolutions, and then you just turn the hand wheel and watch as the thread goes onto the bobbin. Oh, then snip the excess off. What we're going to do next is put the hand crank back on. Now you might find that you have to hold on to the thread a little bit and guide it, because do remember this is a toy and it doesn't have the same finesse or precision as a real machine. And I'm just wiggling it from one side of the other just to try and make it stay on that plastic. Okay, when you think you've got enough thread on the bobbin, or when you get fed up with trying to do that, just clip it. And to get it off, it's just the reverse of how you got it on there, really. You push this back and just pull it. There you go. The next thing that we want to do is put the bobbin in the machine, and to do that we need to load it into the bobbin case. The thread coming off the top there, and the bobbin case in this hand. You pop the bobbin in the case. And there's a little groove just here. And if you pop your finger on the end and then pull that thread through the groove, similar to how you do it on the big machines, only with this one there is somewhere for the thread to go because it just comes up under that spring. There we go. Like that. And it kind of sits just there. That's a lot better than it is on the big machines, because there is actually somewhere for the threads to go, and you know that it's going to end up underneath something or clipped into something. The next thing to do is to pop it in the machine, and you can see there's a little track just inside there, and if I move this hand crank in a minute, you should see the shuttle housing coming into view. And we've got the take-up lever at its highest. The bobbin case in that little track, so the spring is at the top and the flat side of that case is facing towards you. Okay, next thing to do is leave this dangling outside the machine and just close the faceplate. The next thing to do is to thread the top of the machine. Threading the top of the machine is a piece of cake. It's very simple. It's easier than some of the full-sized actual real machines rather than toys. You put it through this thread stand here. And obviously if you use a slightly smaller cotton reel, the cotton will be going that way instead of, as at the moment, it's going that way. So try and get smaller reels if you can. The reason why I'm using this one, I don't actually know how old the thread is on these particular reels. And next thing to do is pop it back through this thread guide here. And then we come down in a similar way to grown-up machines. Go round the tension discs, making sure that that thread actually sits inside those discs. And making sure your take-up lever is at its highest point, you pop it through the hole in the end. And there you've got the usual up and down that you get on most sewing machines. The one thing that you'll notice with this sewing machine is there's no tension on the presser foot, so it doesn't really matter if you've got your foot up or down. You'll still be able to pull that through there, and it doesn't make any difference. I am going to put the foot down so that I can see the eye in the needle. Now this machine threads from front to back. Next thing to do is to bring up the bobbin thread. So in the same way as you would with a grown-up machine, hold on to that top thread and turn the hand crank until the needle goes down, and then let it go all the way until it brings that bobbin thread up. And it's just there underneath the foot, so I'm going to need to get something under there to pull it out with. There we go. There. Okay, now you've got both threads at the top, just pull them to the back. Okay, I've got my test bit of fabric that I seem to have been using on most of the machines. Got quite a few stitch lines on there at the moment, but for this test, watch for the purple thread. I'm just going to slide that underneath and put the foot down. As with all the older sewing machines like this one, hold on to those threads for the first couple of stitches, and we're just going to turn the hand crank that way and see if it'll sew. Now, this isn't easy to do and stay out of the way at the same time, but let's give it a go. There we go. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to take the hand crank out and try the adapter. And remember, I said at the start of the video, this is either a hand crank battery operated or mains. And there's the adapter. It's a Singer adapter. Oh dear. There we go. I'm just going to take the needle out of the fabric by just turning this hand wheel that way. I'm going to lift the presser foot and I'm going to pull it out to the back. I've got some snips. Just snip that off. And let's see how she did. Like I said, she's the purple one, which is this one. And that's not looking too shabby. Let's have a look at the back. Okay, the tension is a little bit off. If you find you've got a bit of a problem with the actual tension on the machine, just like with bigger machines, you just turn your tension right to tighten it or left to loosen it off a little bit. And the tension, just letting it off a little bit, see if that makes a difference. All the threads. Again, we're on mains power, so I'll use the foot pedal with my hand. And pull it to the back. Oop. Let's have a look, see if that made any difference. It was this one. That's the front. And that's the back. I think I might have turned the tension the wrong way. I think I loosened it off. I should have tightened it up a bit. Because you see, I've got little loops sticking out now. Okay, let's take another look at that. It's this one we're looking at now. This is number 3. We're going to take a look at the back. And it's that one. That is actually starting to tighten it up quite nicely, and that is the best of the 3, I think. So it just goes to show that if you've got a tension issue, make sure you turn your tension dials the right way and it'll actually sort that out for you. I hope you liked today's video, and I hope it's helped you figure out how to get your toy sewing machine up and running. If you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. And why not check out some of the other videos I've got on the channel using the links coming up on the screen any minute now, or the ones I'll pop in the description box below for you. And why not subscribe and click the notification bell so that YouTube can let you know when I've uploaded another video. The cat agrees that you should do that. Subscribing to the channel is free and it always will be, but if you want to contribute to the channel financially, you can become a member by clicking the join button just below the video screen. And for $3.99 a month, you can get early access to my long form videos and other perks. Whatever video you go and check out next, hope to see you back here for the next one. And in the meantime, whatever you're sewing it with, embrace your creativity and have fun. Bye for now.